Hello and welcome to Medical Dialogues. I'm Dr. Girma Soni. Let's look at today's top medical news. Rheumatoid arthritis and its influence on atherogenic lipid disruptions. A recent study published in the journal Gene Expression indicates that rheumatoid arthritis, a systemic autoimmune disorder, can contribute to the progression of atherosclerosis. Rheumatoid arthritis, an inflammatory autoimmune disorder, leads to the production of inflammatory cytokines due to the immune response, which significantly disrupts lipid and lipoprotein metabolism. There are certain inflammatory mediators responsible for the progression of rheumatoid arthritis, like inflammatory cytokines such as interleukin-6 and tumor necrosis factor alpha, which influence lipid and lipoprotein profiles by modulating gene expression and metabolic pathways. Other inflammatory mediators such as C-reactive protein modify the behavior of low-density lipoprotein, which ultimately leads to development of atherosclerotic plaques. Myeloperoxidase, an additional inflammatory mediator, generates reactive oxygen species that compromise the effectiveness of high-density lipoprotein. Long COVID symptoms in children and teens. Study finds. In a new study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, elucidates that TEAM's newly developed index identifies children and adolescents which are at greater risk of developing long COVID. The TEAM's newly developed index identifies children and adolescents most likely to develop long COVID. This research tool is based on long-term symptoms that are more frequently observed in children with a history of COVID-19 infection compared to those without such a history. Children and teenagers were observed to experience persistent symptoms affecting nearly every organ following infection with SARS-CoV-2, the virus responsible for COVID-19, with fatigue and pain being the most common. School-age children exhibited a specific pattern of symptoms including neuropsychological effects such as memory or concentration issues, sleep disturbances, and gastrointestinal problem. In contrast, adolescents showed a unique cluster of symptoms involving changes in or loss of taste or smell, which was not present in younger children. Role of ketogenic diet in preventing pancreatic cancer. In a recent study published in the journal Nature reveals that a ketogenic diet may work in conjunction with specific cancer treatments to prevent onset of pancreatic cancer. Researchers have observed that a high-fat diet, when combined with cancer therapy, disrupted fat metabolism in mice, depriving tumors of the essential nutrients they required for continued growth. As long as the mice were maintained on the ketogenic diet, tumor growth ceased. The findings arose from the researchers' initial objective of understanding how the body sustains itself during fasting, a process influenced by a protein called eukaryotic translation initiation factor. This protein triggers fat consumption during fasting, a mechanism also activated by a ketogenic diet. Relationship between heart disease and Alzheimer's disease. A study published in the International Journal of Molecular Science have found an association between Alzheimer's disease and cardiovascular disease. Researchers have identified a possible genetic link between Alzheimer's disease and various disorders related to coronary artery disease as well as lipids like cholesterol. Previous research has also associated cardiovascular issues such as high blood pressure, dyslipidemia, coronary artery disease, and atrial fibrillation with a higher risk of developing Alzheimer's disease and other types of dementia. For this study, researchers focused on 7 traits of coronary artery disease which occurs when plaque builds up inside the artery supplying blood to the heart, like angina pectoris, cardiac dysarrhythmias, coronary atherosclerosis, ischemic heart disease, myocardial infarction, coronary artery disease, and non-specific chest pain. Scientists also examined 13 distinct lipids linked to coronary artery disease such as lipoproteins, triglycerides, and cholesterols. That's all for now. Stay tuned to Medical Dialogues for latest updates.
Never miss a medical update from Medical Dialogues. Like, subscribe, and press the bell icon.